Welcome back to Spotlight.
Hi.
I'm Edwin, and I'm here with three of the leading management team faculty at Hlscc Community College, speaking of women in leading roles in the community. I want to welcome Miss Stephanie Penn, Russ Penn. Russ Penn. How are you doing?
I'm great.
That's good.
Good evening.
It's good to have you. And Ms. Laverne Vanterpool Baptiste, Registrar. Yes. Good to have you. And Ms. Dana Ambrose Lewis. You know, this is like Stephanie, Russ Penn, Laverne Vanterpool Baptiste, Dana Lewis. What is that about? I know that's a little off topic, right? But why I have to keep repeating these long names for women? It used to be Mrs. Ambrose, Mrs. Penn, Mrs. Baptiste.
You could
Now,
call
I
me
got
Mrs.
all
Penn.
it, everybody.
And you could call you Mrs. Baptiste.
Yeah, I
right?
only go by
Yeah.
Baptiste.
Every woman got a hyphenated name. What is that? That's some kind of secret society?
Actually, my name isn't hyphenated. I just wanted to keep the Russ. I'm fine with Penn. I just didn't want to give up the Russ. You know, equality, we have.
That's
the
that
right
feminist.
to-
That's that
yeah.
feminist thing, right? That's that feminist thing. Anyhow, it's good to see. It's good to see you. We're gonna have a good discussion because we're gonna be talking about Hlscc Community College. You know, where it's going. You know, how it's progressed, and what the calendar year coming up, 2013, 2014. What's in store for the young people? What parents need to be involved in, the community need to be involved in. So we're gonna have a good, interesting conversation. I want to start with you, Mrs. Penn. We have a lot of sporting activities coming out of being sponsored by the college, if I could say sponsored by the college. I'm not sure.
Maybe hosted might be.
Hosted, yes, hosted by the college. We don't have, unfortunately, a lot of sporting teams in the college. We had a basketball team, right? It's the Stingrays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we don't have, you know, like most colleges have, you know, volleyball teams, basketball teams, swimming teams, you know, teams, baseball teams. But we don't have those. But we host events. What is that about?
Well, I mean, if we go back historically, we have had times in the past where we have had teams, but I think it's a challenge in the advent of not actually having two things: actual housing on campus, because we're a real commuter type of campus. People are coming and going. They don't always have that extra time to stop and say, I'm going to train and be prepared to create a team. And the second thing is not having an actual athletic department anymore. It creates a challenge to be able to have a specific area focused on ensuring that you have teams. But over the years, in between having teams or at least participating within community leagues, we've at least been able to maintain our presence at a local level, whether it be during the basketball league, whether it might be during the local volleyball league, as well as through the maintaining of the college race series. So the college believes that people should have some kind of physical activity in their life, and so we do the best we can within the limits we have right now to do internal things, but also because we like to engage the community, we also have activities that bring people in, such as the college race series.
And it seems to me the college is really concerned about the community part of its name.
Definitely. I mean, it's a community college, so we have a job to not just meet the students that come in, but we have a job to also be able to help those students to give back to the community, as well as be able to go out and aid our community so that we can be a stronger territory.
Okay. So what races and what activities, sporting events that's coming up for the 2013-2014 academic year?
Well, certainly for this semester, being fall 2013, we have the start of the college race series coming up. And with certainty, I would say this is a anticipated community event that persons look forward to, which the college does host. So beginning on Saturday, September 14th, we launch the race series in Virgin Gorda, and we kick off 7 races, 3 on Virgin Gorda, 4 at Paraquita Bay on Tortola. And the series typically runs from September to November. And so that particular series is going to be launched. And for the most part, that's the main sporting activity. Currently, we have a team in, I believe it's the Hlscc Bay League of Basketball, but that's probably gonna end prior to the race series ending. So whenever there's an opportunity and we can have a team in a particular area and we can field enough students, then we'll get involved. Some of the opportunity may not be already forecasted, but if they come up and the students are available to form the team, we will. The college race series is always forecasted, and I think that's largely because the community really looks forward to it. Whether we have students there to participate or not, you have persons from all different areas of the community that look forward to this particular event, and so we make sure this particular event continues.
Give us a little bit of the history and the background of the racing series.
Well, the series is in its 18th year, and so it has quite a number of years under its belt. When it began with maybe less than 20 persons participating. It originally started only at Paraquita Bay, and perhaps, and I don't have my years correct, but I think it might have been maybe a year to 3 years after that, then it became an addition at the Virgin Gorda Center. And it's continued since then, and it's grown from being less than 20 people to now being up to almost 200 persons a race. And so over the several races, we see probably anywhere from 300 to 400 different persons passing through. And so, like I say, it's really something that persons in the community look forward to, and they keep coming. So it's a lot of them. I mean, I can think of several families who I've watched their children from small to now Hlscc college students, and they have been in every category of the race series. And that's wonderful for me because they're the people I look forward to seeing every year, as well as the new persons. But it's really nice to see the continuation and how the community supports the event.
Generation of racers.
Racers, yeah. And people who didn't even think they could actually move like that. They go from walking, and next thing you know, guess what, I'm running. And then I see them on the road running. So it also is infiltrating beyond the day it happens to persons actually moving and becoming more well. And that's one of the added objectives to this series, is promoting wellness.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask you about the goal, why the racing series, and what you're hoping to achieve, what the college is hoping to achieve by having a racing series.
Well, couple different things. Again, it's another opportunity to engage the community. It's another opportunity for persons to know that Hlscc exists, and we're not just only academics. There's other facets to what we do, as well as it's an opportunity to promote persons' wellness at different levels. You have those individuals who just want an opportunity to walk in a more social environment with a lot of people, with not a lot of traffic. They bring out their strollers with their little kids. Some people might bring their animals, and so you have a lot of dynamics to it. And then you have the opportunity for those persons who might be training. So it's really a way for various sporting groups to also have their persons come in and condition leading up to a particular season of sport. And that's another area we try to promote. Bring your athletes, get them conditioned, and then they'll be in a better shape for maybe national competition perhaps, or international, as well as of course local.
Seems like the main result though is a family event that families, it helps to promote cohesive families.
It does. Because even if you're not participating, you have person there cheering
you on,
or spectating.
Yeah.
Or you have a whole family moving together, from the smallest to the oldest. So it's a real wholesome, wonderful event.
The family that exercises together stays together.
Stays together, yeah. I like that.
You like that? We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk some more with you, Miss Penn and Miss Baptiste. We're going to talk to you about some figures, college, how is it growing, how many students we have this year, this semester, we increasing, we dropping off, graduates, girls, boys, all that good stuff. And of course, Ms. Dana Lewis Ambrose, you just got a new position, and you're going to tell us about the professional development and all the courses and the seminars we can come to enhance our skills, develop new skills, and meet the demand in the workforce, right? So you keep it locked right here to Spotlight. We're going to come right back after these words from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by Tortola Concrete Limited, Clarence Thomas Limited, and H. Laverty Stout Community College.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm having an interesting discussion with the members of the H. Laverty Stout Community College team, Mrs. Stephanie Ross Penn, Mrs. LeBron Baptiste, and Mrs. Dana Ambrose. Yes, Ambrose. Okay. Yeah, so Miss Baptiste, how you doing? Well, thank you. Yeah. You're the registrar. You want to make sure that registration goes well.
I make sure registration goes well. I keep care of student records.
You take care of students' records. How is the college doing? I mean, I've gotten the sense that the college has made tremendous strides from a prestige perspective. Is that an accurate perception on my part? That we, Hlscc was, was a local college. I didn't really want to go there. I want to go away to school. But it seems now like it's becoming a culture that when you graduate high school, you go into Hlscc. If you're not going anyplace else, you're not going to look for a job. You're going to Hlscc, and then after Hlscc, you're going to see about getting your bachelor's degree from another university or college.
I agree. I would say that factor, that has been helped by two factors primarily. One, the success of our graduates, because now the young people coming up can see individuals who pass through Hlscc and the success that they attained at other universities, and then being able to come back here and contributing successfully in the workforce. And then also the tuition assistance program that was instituted by government has alleviated a lot of the financial burden on behalf of the parents, so it becomes a viable option for them to send their students to a school that provides quality education at a much reduced cost.
Yeah. And that's an important point, the TAP, the tuition assistance program. And I think coming out of that program, you had students who might have been marginal coming out of high school. And once they got into Hlscc, it seemed like some of them, they picked up, and graduated and even gotten scholarships to go to universities, international or regional universities, and then come back and really making great strides, career strides in the community, and making a real contribution to the territory.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And also the college has an open access policy where we try to make education available to anybody at any level. I mean, you may not necessarily have graduated from high school, but we do have certificate level programs that give individuals who do not have high school certificates the opportunity to receive a level of certification in particular areas. And then we also have a number of pre-college courses to prepare individuals in math, in English, in science, who do not have that strong enough background to immediately go into college level courses. And that also helps, and a lot of people come and they take classes for enrichment purposes. They come in, they do Virgin Islands history, they do Spanish, they do French, they do a few business courses. So we're able to meet a wide variety of needs in the community.
And you also have the vocations.
The technical vocational
vocation
program,
as well.
yes.
I don't want to get over into Dana's area. But why are you making these funny faces at me, Dana? I had hopes of making you my co-host.
Really?
Yeah. How are you doing? You're good. Miss Baptiste is talking about she led into, and that encouraged me to take advantage of the segue about the various courses, enhancement courses, and the broad age range of persons that's coming to Hlscc Community College. That's your area now, right?
Well, yes. What we do is that we provide training opportunities to persons who are looking at enhancing their career opportunities, and we also provide enrichment for persons who may just want to become skilled or aware or better suited in a particular area like cooking or baking. So we try to meet that community need as well, and make sure that persons can function better within the community and the society that they're residing in.
When you gonna get a program for talk show hosts, to like to improve? I sometimes I look at myself on television and I cringe at my poor performance, and I want to really enhance my ability to talk and get the information out and have a good, lively show. I'm sure there must be some techniques that I need to learn.
Well, we can look at that as long as there's a need.
This is only 10 talk show hosts is not enough.
That would
you don't
like
have to
to
back
do
it.
the training. We would put it on, and we just need to.
But the
make
point,
sure that
the point is that
viable.
the point is that you are making. I'm joking, but the point is that you are making strides in creating those courses.
Yes.
And helping persons to enhance whatever their career choices are and whatever their career goals are.
And what we do in workforce as well is that while yes, our primary objective is to serve the BVI community, we also have been serving the region, the Caribbean region as well, in training.
Really? Talk
yes.
to us a little bit about that. That's news.
In July and in August and the earlier part of September, we put on some training opportunities. The last 2 sessions were in business continuity management, and we worked collaboratively with an organization called SIDIMA. They're in charge of emergency disaster management areas, and they sponsored between 16 to 18 persons to come to the BVI to be trained in business continuity management. Okay. And we've also had recently training which has been sponsored by the Caribbean Development Bank for artisans and small contractors in the area of computerized job estimation tools. So, and that's like money coming into the territory. So we do provide those opportunities. We work collaboratively with those regional organizations, and as long as there's a need and those organizations are willing to fund the opportunity, we work collaboratively with them and provide the training to both locals and regional if that is the expectation.
we have people coming from all over the
Yes,
Caribbean.
from all over the Caribbean, Anguilla, Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica. We even had persons from Panama and Haiti.
So you have to start talking now about dormitories and facilitating international students with housing, and this seems like an industry coming here.
These are short courses, workshops, so they're 4 weeks. So basically, they would stay at one of our local hotels here, and we would basically organize transportation for them back and forth. So there are a number of avenues in which the territory benefits from those opportunities.
Well, I know in our vision we've got the word regional in there in trying to capture that market and fling Hlscc further afield into other regional markets to see if we could get students to come here, just like how we go away to school, have people come here. I mean, certainly that would be a tremendous development.
And also, let me say that we have had opportunities to send some of our faculty over to other Caribbean islands to do training. That happened just in August, where we had Mr. Spencer Grant. He went with a gentleman by the name of Mr. Brent Fraser, and they went into Anguilla and they did training in small engine repair. And that was a very successful training opportunity for the college, and there's a possibility that more of those opportunities will happen, and all of that funnels through the center.
Okay, and with that piece was talking, you're talking about the initiatives or the programs for the new high school graduates coming into the college to make sure that their standard is raised, that their education standard is raised to a level where they become competent to what we used to call matriculate in the old days, to take college level courses. And I want to ask, and this is an important and an interesting point, because there's a lot being said, Ms. Penn, about students coming into the college that are not fully prepared. And as a teacher, how do you find students coming in, and you're in a high level class, math and science, that's no easy feat. You know, people like me cringe at math and science. but how do you feel about that? How do you what's your judgment? What's your take on that aspect or that perception of the community that the college, the high school students are not adequately prepared?
Well, there's certainly some elements of truth to that, and it's not necessarily an easy question to answer, because the students are coming with varied backgrounds. So if I can speak in terms of math and science, which is the area that I work in, for us, we do understand that for our students to progress, typically in the kind of technical fields that they may want to go in that might require a lot of math and science, there are specific skills they need to have and have at least a certain level that we can then help them to go to a higher level. And we find that, for example, there are challenges at times where students don't necessarily meet the standard for writing, and when that happens, it creates difficulties in terms of their critical thinking skills. We find that at times certain students don't meet the standards for math, and so that plays into their reasoning as well as critical thinking skills. But what we try to do, at least, is we try to have certain measures in place and looking at past trends or changes within the students as the years progress, because the students are not always the same. Some years you have what you might say, wow, that was a great crop, and then other years you might say, wow, that was really a tough bunch. And so what we tend to do is we have the measures in place where we have the pre-college courses, or in certain areas we may do placement exams, so that at least we have a better idea instead of just assuming, presuming, or stating they're coming with these deficiencies. We try to make sure we can actually test them to see if that is actually the case, and then meet them where they're at, whenever they're entering in. If it's clear that they need pre-college and they're not up to standard, that's what they're advised to do. If they certainly meet the specification, they go straight into those college classes, and we monitor them as they move forward. And within our classes, we attempt to also have internal measures so we can measure whether they're actually acquiring the kind of skills that we want them to acquire.
How great a challenge and a burden is that situation, the remedial programs in the college, on the college budget, on the financial resources and human resources of the college? You're going to answer that when we come back after these words from our sponsors. Keep it locked right there to Spotlight.
Spotlight is brought to you by Tortola Concrete Limited, Clarence Thomas Limited, and Hlscc Stout Community College.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm having an interesting discussion with Stephanie Ruspin, Mrs. Laverne Bantapu Baptiste, and Mrs. Dana Lewis Ambrose of Hlscc. And we're talking about the Hlscc looking ahead, the academic year, the fall semester. The academic year just started September, and all the things that's coming up, all the things that's happening, very exciting things happening at Hlscc South Community College. It's developing to really, really good community college. We have a lot of successful graduates, and of course you see our advertisement and the young lady that's the spokesperson, one of the spokespersons for the college, and the advertisements certainly very articulate, very bright, and is making her strides in her career. So it's a good time to enroll in Hlscc, and it's going to be an even greater time when as soon as we are accredited next few years. So great things are happening at Hlscc. Big things are coming. Miss Laverne Baptiste, yes. Miss Penn was talking about, some of the challenges we have with some students that come in. I guess it's understandable. We have some bright students, you have some not so bright students, you have some students that need some assistance. Mm-hmm. How is that in your database, in your statistical sheets? Is it a lot, not so much? Is it a burden on the budget? How are we managing that?
Well, what we found for the past few years is that about 53% of the students who come into the college do need to take at least one pre-college course. Mm-hmm. And of that 53%, 93% of them, those students have to take math. So it becomes more of an issue in the department where Ms. Russ Penn works, and it really highlights the fact that our students do not perform as well in math and maybe a little bit in science as we would really like them to. Less of a percentage, just about 30%, have to take one or two of the English courses. So when you look at it, you're looking at having full-time faculty dedicated to college level courses, but still now having to spread those resources to the pre-college level courses. We also do employ quite a number of adjuncts, and more often you find that the adjuncts teach a lot of those pre-college courses to get the students up to the level that they need to perform well enough in the college level courses. So you're looking at it in terms of the human resources, on the full-time level, on the part-time level, the cost of running courses. But then too, as a community college, we are here to meet the needs of the community. And if there's a need, with the students coming out of the high school, if our job is to produce a certain level of student, then we have to meet the students where they are and get them up to the standard where they can function at that particular level. So those pre-college courses are necessary. But in addition to that, we also have peer mentoring programs. So we don't just rely on the actual academia again. We have students who every term, every semester, we send out requests for students who have performed well in previous semesters, asking them if they would like to be mentors. And what we do is we assign about 2 or 3 new students to those mentors so that they work with them as they come in. If there are any challenges that they're facing, teach them the ropes, get them acquainted with Hlscc, help them study. Sometimes they form study groups. And we do have a lot of resources that are available in terms of online tutoring, which is available 24/7. It's called Smart Thinking, and we do have individual tutors, whether it's faculty or students. So there's a lot of resources that we put towards making sure that students are successful regardless of the level at which they come into the institution.
Are we forging relationships with the high schools to get the teachers and the staff and the education department to understand some of those statistics, interpret those statistics in a way that they could help to increase the standards of the graduates, so that when they get to the college level, they are better prepared, and we have to use less resources to bring them to that standard?
Well, over the years, we've had discussions back and forth. And I would say that it's only recently that we really did start collecting the statistics. So I'm not sure if, since we have been collecting the particular statistics, we've had meetings with them to really say to them, okay, this is the definitive data that we have to say that this is what is happening. But I do know over the years, we've been in constant communication, working to establish standards. We also have a dual enrollment program where we try to encourage students at the high schools who are doing well to start taking college level courses during their 4th and 5th forms, and that helps them to make the transition. So I believe education has been working on things on their end, and we have been working on things on our end. And maybe we need now, since we have the data, we can sit together and now have a discussion on a more concrete way to move forward to see how we can best prepare the students at the high school level to come in where they don't have to spend maybe an additional semester bringing themselves up to that particular standard, but they can go seamlessly matriculate into the program of study that they choose.
There's been a debate on sixth form, no sixth form. From where you sit, have you formed an opinion about it?
I can have a personal opinion because my son went to private school and he did 6 years at that level, and now he's in high school and he's horrified at the thought of having to spend another 6 years in high school after spending, the 6 years there. I came through the system in Enigada and we did 6 years when I came through Enigada Secondary. And, I will tell you, this year, the new student population coming in, the largest modal group for this year is 16-year-olds. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of 15-year-olds, and this year we have a dual enrollment student who's 14. Our student population is getting younger and younger, and we're facing issues at the college now that I think you would see maybe more on a high school campus. We are faced with, before I think we had a lot more mature students that they were more self-motivated in that they would attend the classes and they would be a lot more active in the discussions. But now you find that as the students get younger and younger and they come, there's a lot more hanging out. There's a lot more, the whole atmosphere now is different than it used to be a few years ago. And from 2010, every year, the largest group on the campus has been getting younger and younger. So the 6th year in high school may be a useful thing to prepare them academically as well as emotionally, and socially, so that when they come on campus, they're more prepared to get straight into their studies as opposed to seeing it now as a social event. But to me, it's always what people make of any opportunity. There are some students, they go through the 5 years. We have many of them, they've been very successful. Some have gone through 6 years. It's done some well, and it's not done some as well. So it's really, students have an opportunity, and it's for them to make the best of what opportunity is presented before them.
I thought that the younger the student coming into the college, would be an indication that the brighter the student is?
Well, so I wouldn't say that is it necessarily, because some students enter high school very young. So when they come out within the 5-year period, they can come out at 15, they come out at 16, because there's no, to the best of my knowledge, accelerated program in the high school where you finish it shorter than the 5-year period. So I don't think it's necessarily an indication of their academic progress.
Okay, I mean, it's just interesting. How do you graduate from? If you go to primary school, if you start primary school at 5, how do you graduate secondary school at 14?
The 14-year-old is a dual enrolled student, so that individual is still in high school.
Oh, okay, right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That clarifies.
So they're doing high school courses and taking college courses.
Yes, that clarifies things to me.
Yes.
But still, if a 14-year-old is taking college courses and high school courses, I mean, that's kind of a load, right?
Yes.
In that situation.
So for the dual
So
enrollment,
forgive me, is that a selection there's a selection process where you determine, well, this student is smart enough or bright enough to have a dual enrollment?
well,
how's that selection process?
for the dual enrollment program, the student has to be recommended by the principal or a counselor. So once they see that the student has the academic capacity and maybe the level of maturity, they would make a recommendation. It has to come in writing, and the student's transcript also has to be presented to the college. And they come in and they go straight into the college level programs. We allow them to do Spanish, they can do French, they can do computers, they can do English, they can do math, or they can do what we have, it's called COM, which is a college success course. It's a personal development course that aids them in developing skills to be able to go through college more successfully.
I want to get to some statistics, but you talked about the computer courses, and I know we had a computer fair recently, and the students in Hlscc are doing some tremendous things with computers. And I don't know, maybe is that something that you could speak to, Miss? I know I don't think that's your department, but
anymore.
Right? But is something you could tell us about the success of the computer department in Hlscc?
Well, they've have put on the computer science fair for, I think it would have been maybe 3 or 4 years now, and it keeps growing, and every year they keep revising it to ensure that they meet whatever needs are there. So I expect that in spring 2014 we'll be seeing something slightly different from what we may have seen in the past. I suspect you may be seeing not so much websites creations, but maybe more databases or more system analysis type things. I'm not really a tech person, but I think we can reasonably say that the college in general is very proud of what they've seen with that fair, coming from where it started. 1 year it started in the atrium, and it's now grown to where we have students from various classes within the computer studies program being able to showcase their work and to present it to the general public, explaining to them. And I think that is perhaps a very key component of that entire exercise, that they can explain to you and say how this program works and what it can do to make your life or your job or your businesses function much better. And that is what you want from a student, not just to create stuff, but to be able to communicate how it can work. And I think that is perhaps one of the greatest successes of that exercise.
Yeah, I know Ms. Dawson is very proud. She had occasion to listen to her report, and it was really exciting. We have students going out into the work, into the community,
Yes.
and assisting businesses in developing their data, their accounting, their management, with programs and things that they create, and it was just phenomenal.
And some of those programs are actually applied in the businesses, so they use them afterwards. So it's not just a show, and
They have practical
and then
they have
everything is
practical
put.
application.
It is practical because some of the software, some of the programs are actually applied and implemented in physical business.
Yeah, of course, you're watching Spotlight here on JTV Channel 55, and I'm having a great conversation with Miss Stephanie Penn, Mrs. Stephanie Penn, and Mrs. LeBron Baptiste, and Mrs. Dana Ambrose. We want to open the phones. We're going to take a break. We want to open up the phones. The number's going to come up on the screen. The text is going to come up on the screen. The text number's going to come up on the screen. And I still got to get some of the data from Miss LeBron about the enrollment and all those things. And we still have some new workshops, short courses and workshops coming on stream. And of course, Ms. Ben is going to tell us about all the races that's coming up and the race schedule and how to get involved and so on. So there's a lot more coming here on Spotlight. Keep it locked. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Clarence Thomas Limited, the BVI Tourist Board, and CCT Global Communications.
Welcome back to Spotlight. Ms. Baptiste, we following the turning the clock, so I don't take up all the time having a good time, right? Instead of interviewing you, I'm enjoying myself.
Well, that's good.
But this year, last year you had a good cohort of students.
Yes.
Graduation was fabulous.
Yes.
And this year, what your enrollment looks like?
Our enrollment for this year is 894.
Is that up or down?
That is down.
Down by how much?
Last fall, we usually track the enrollment from fall semester to fall semester. And last fall, our enrollment was 956.
So 100 down by 100.
No, it's down by 56 and
Yeah,
662.
less than six, yeah.
Oh, so it's not bad. Anything that you've identified that you think you could attribute that downtown, that slight drop off to?
Well, we've had some students who actually pre-registered, and then afterwards they came in and they dropped the classes, stating conflicts with work. Some of them came and literally said they wish they could take classes, but because other people in the office are taking classes, they can't get the time off. So work seems to be a major issue. Finance.
More students come out of high school now. You think there's a slight increase of students coming out of high school that are opting to go to work
Usually,
immediately after high school?
we usually find that we usually get about 72%, roughly about 70 to 75% of the students coming out of high school. And typically by the middle of the first semester to the end of the semester, a lot of them do try to get some form of employment. Some of them do stay full-time and their intention is to go strictly on to university, but you do find a lot of the students do seek employment. So over the course of one semester to the next, you find that they drop from full-time status to part-time status, and some of them eventually stop coming and then they pick back up a few years later on.
Okay. Please tell me that there are more boys enrolled this year than last year.
I can't tell you that, but I will tell you that there are 312 males enrolled this year and 582 females. And that's typical. It's usually 2 to 1, so it's always roughly that.
But I think that's better than probably 5 years ago.
Probably, yes.
So there's
It was probably 3 to 1 then.
okay. So there's an improvement. The ratio is improving.
Don't quote me.
Okay. The ratio is improving. More and more boys are becoming interested in college.
Yes.
We can safely say that.
Yes, I would say that, yes.
Okay.
And they're doing well.
Yeah, I would say that.
What are statistics you have that you can tell us?
Well, I shared some before that this year we have the greatest number of 16-year-olds, the largest body of an age
So we have some
range.
younger students.
Yes, our students are getting younger. What else can I tell you? We have 780 BVI 718 are BVI lenders or belongers, and then the remaining balance is comprised of international students who come here specifically to take classes, students who graduate from the high school but who do not have BVI or belonger status, or government employees.
Any indication of an increase of students coming from overseas here?
Not
that's not
not so much for the past.
A major stat.
No, not for the past few years. It hasn't been as strong as it used to be. Again, as you said before, the issue of dorms, that becomes a major issue. We've had applications from further afield. We have quite a few coming in now from Africa, and usually the problem with those students is that they have to go through so many different countries and get permission from immigration that it takes a long time for the process to be completed.
Okay, Ms. Ambrose, you have a list of some new courses that are coming on stream. Talk to us a little bit about that. You got some short courses or workshops.
Yes, we've rolled out the fall 2013 schedule for workshops and short courses, and we are very happy to say that we are providing beautification courses.
Beautification courses?
Yes, we have one coming up in September, exploring skincare and makeup, and we're right now accepting registration for that, and we're allowing up to Friday for persons to indicate their interests and to come and register for that course. We have had a lot of phone calls already for these types of courses. People are very excited. And we're going to have 2 more of those beautification courses in October and November. So they can log on to our website, www.hlscc.edu.vg/CPD. And we have most, if not all, of the information there. The registration forms are there. The course details are there. How to contact us, how to submit their information, everything is pretty much there on the website.
What's the phone number to get that website?
Well, we have a very competent staff, and you can call 852-7192 or 852-7194, and you can ask to speak to Miss Yannick Smith or Mrs. Janice Dawson, or you can call me 852-7035, and we will certainly be ready and available to address whatever needs persons have.
And HLSCC's numbers in the book. So
yes, 494-4994.
Yeah.
But not only are we offering beautification courses, we are also offering culinary short courses as well in baking. So anyone out there,
I could come and learn how to bake.
Yeah, and we have one of those courses starting in September as well, baking and pastry making, and the deadline for that is the 20th of September. So persons still have a little bit of time to think through if they're interested. But those classes are going to be on Saturdays, and as I said, they can just call us and we can give them the necessary information. We also have a foundation graphic design course, so anyone into graphic design, that course starts on the 24th of September. It's Tuesday and Thursdays. We have 2 cohorts, meaning you can take it either in the day at 2 o'clock to 3:20, or you can take it in the evening at 7 o'clock to 8:20. So we're doing offering good stuff.
Yes.
And of course, for those in management, we're offering the level 5 certificate in management and leadership. That is, we're working with CMI on that one, and we're going to be offering 4-day workshops starting on the 24th of September. And again, persons have until the 20th of September to register for that. And as I said, we have the schedule out. I believe it was on BVI News and Virgin Islands News Online, and it gives you the costs, the registration costs, the days, the deadlines, and the information regarding the courses.
Okay. Everybody seems like whispering at you like you missed something.
We were just saying to look at something on
yes,
Facebook.
right.
Oh,
And it's on
okay.
Facebook. How could I forget?
Yeah, okay.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Perhaps the easiest way to get the information.
HLSC at Facebook, and that's well, you could just search Hlscc and it'll
Yes.
come right up, right?
Yes.
You don't need to have an address for that.
I don't think so. You need to be on Facebook.
You need to
though.
be on,
Yeah.
yeah. You need to be on Facebook, yeah. So those are the courses that you have.
Well, we
so
have a
far.
lot more, but I was focusing on the ones in September. So as I said, persons can just call us, or as we just said, go on Facebook.
Go on Facebook.
You'll see
Go to the
everything there.
website and you
Because
can
the
get.
schedule is there. What we've trying to do is to give people forewarning. This is what we're offering. So even if the course is being offered in October, we're letting you know from early so that you can plan your days, the finances, everything.
And if you want to have to have your skills enhanced, or there's a course you're looking for, you could go and look it up, look on the website, and you just might have it.
Yeah.
But if what's not mentioned, something might still be there for you to enhance your skills.
And we actually are doing a needs assessment survey. So we have been drawing data from the community to help us better prepare for such opportunities to make sure we're meeting the needs. So going forward, you may see very different courses. And as I said, this schedule here shows different courses already. And we do anticipate that needs assessment will indicate, hey, there are persons out there that want to be trained in this particular area. And this is something that we need to respond to. And therefore, we will do the research, find out if we do have persons who can facilitate the course.
And develop the course.
And develop the course just to meet the need.
Okay.
Because that's what we're here for.
Cool. Miss Stephanie Penn, you're going to get the last say. Your schedule of events?
Schedule of events. So in terms of the college race series, as indicated at the beginning, the series is kicking off this weekend, Saturday the 14th of September in Virgin Gorda. For every race, whether you're in Virgin Gorda or Tortola, the registration begins at 6:30 and race time is at 7 a.m. And if anyone knows the races start on time, give or take a minute or two. But we get them going and we get them finished, and you have the whole rest of the wonderful day ahead of you. But the dates for Virgin Gorda in its entirety is September 14th, October 5th, and October 19th. 3 races for that particular location. And then on Tortola, we're going to kick off on the 21st of September at Paraquita Bay, followed by the 12th of October, the 26th of October, and the 16th of November. So pretty much every 3 weeks, there'll be a race at Paraquita Bay. And I think it's about the same for Virgin Gorda.
Okay. And if persons wanted to check that schedule and take a look at what's going on when the races that's coming up, there's a place they can go to look to find out what the series.
Facebook.
Everything is on Facebook.
Between the college's website, Facebook, contacting myself, my direct number is 852-7216. They can get all the information they need about the races.
And they could call the school generally and ask for you, and
Yes.
if they can't remember the number.
Definitely.
And so on. And you want to give your sponsors a plug? Who's sponsoring the races?
Oh, certainly. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because we have an awesome sponsor, Highland Spring Mineral Water, distributed through TICO BVI. They've come on board, and it's been probably over 10 years, and they look forward every year to making sure that this event happens, and the college certainly thanks them for their contributions. So, go Highland Spring.
Yeah. That's a good plug there, Miss Penn. Miss Penn and Miss Baptiste and Miss Lewis, thank you very much for being my guest on Spotlight and bringing a multitude of information about Hlscc Community College and the tremendous success it is having. We didn't get to the accreditation process, but we are sure that it's going fine. I see Ms. Baptiste is happy about that. But we'll have you back, I'm sure, some more, and we'll talk specifically about accreditation and the importance of accreditation to the college and to the BVI community as a whole. Thank you for being my guest on Spotlight. Tune in to Spotlight next Tuesday, right here on JTV. We're reminding you that Spotlight is broadcast every Sunday afternoon at 2:30. Sunday afternoon at 2:30. So if you miss this part of this, or you missed the whole of it, you can check it out Sunday coming. Also, you can check our Spotlight on Demand for all the spotlights that you didn't see and all the spotlights you want to catch up on at jtblive.net. Again, tune into Spotlight next Tuesday at channel 55 at 8 p.m. We have another informative program for you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your words of encouragement, your suggestions, your criticisms. Email me at jtvspotlight@yahoo.com. I'm Edjuenka, reminding you that when the spotlight is on, you see the facts. Peace and blessings.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Clarence Thomas Limited, the BVI Tourist Board, and CCT Global Communications.